with quite a bit of an agenda that will be on the website, so people can review what's on it and see if they'd like to attend.
You skipped 3.
We have a request,
Get audio.
Oh, I heard you did. I heard you.
we have a request, I don't think so, because it's not blinking.
Yeah, we just heard it, didn't you?
I just turned it on. Yeah,
No.
it was through the, yeah, it's on. Because I could hear it through here.
Well, I know you could hear it through there, but can these two hear it?
Try it, Jen.
All right, I'm gonna go back.
Oh, it's my phone.
Well, this little microphone here usually does something.
Okay,
I heard it, I did.
yeah, we got it.
Yep, we got it.
Well, somehow it's working, so we'll figure the microphone out business later. We're about halfway through, folks. Nothing dramatic, nothing exciting. Our animal control officer, who also supports Leamington, is talking about a ballistic vest and Leamington said they would pay for it, but they would like us to help towards the payment of it. We really haven't discussed whether we feel we should do it or not. I don't know if that's something we workshop, or you want to talk about it a little bit now, or...
I kind of thought we did say that we would contribute a certain amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure we do. First of all, we didn't know what the actual total was.
Right?
I mean, I would say we pay for a quarter of it, which is, well, let's see, 1328.
Is this just one vest?
Yes.
Yes.
And was that the extent of it, just one, or?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
this is actually-
$332 would
yeah.
be.
This is for our deputy ACO, who is full-time in Leamington
okay.
as the ACO.
So we're looking at $332 or $350, what was...
Well, I'd recommend the 332, which is
Okay.
a quarter of it. I'd make a motion that we pay Leamington $332 for the deputy, for our deputy ACO bulletproof vest.
I'll second that.
Jen, you,
You second
we
it?
all vote?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll approve that, Deb, that's $332 for
Okay, then they'll be sending a request and then I'll pay it then.
our
Okay.
And
share of the vest.
Are they asking it to come out of the ACO account? That's what
Yes,
is.
it can. That, I wrote the
Yeah.
Yep, I see that.
budget there for you.
Okay.
Yes.
Talked about the planning board, the appeals boards, nothing going on right now. Comprehensive committee, next meeting is
Next Tuesday?
March 26th.
Yeah.
Jen, you have anything on that you'd like to add?
Just that we're,
2 weeks.
2 weeks,
For the
next week's the
comprehensive plan.
19th.
Yeah.
okay, 2 weeks from now, yeah, no, we're just really getting close to having a public information session on it, wrapping it up, so, looking good.
And everyone should know that this year of hard work by everybody still has to be approved by the town.
Right.
So we will be having information meetings, public hearings, all sorts of things, and a vote,
And a vote, right.
so.
When the draft is available, how are you gonna get it out to people?
Well, we'll have the draft online
Okay.
but we'll we'll have to make some copies too, I
For
think.
people to
Yep.
pick up?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know how many yet, or,
Yep.
we did discuss that, so,
Okay.
yeah.
Do we have the audio, right, you
Yeah,
said?
it's on, yep.
Take my, don't want to misinform people. We have our monthly report from Shakopee Rescue. And you can see that's all online, but the 54 calls in February, 52 were handled by our folks at Shakopee, 2 mutual aid, and we gave mutual aid, so that's a good balance. Advanced life support in 94% of the calls. And top reasons, 15 medical and 11 short of breath, so. Rescue seems to have turned the corner with having the right number of vehicles and being able to respond with our equipment, not having to ask other towns to help out all the time. We have a supplemental tax warrant. Someone who was in, someone who was in tree growth and shouldn't have been.
Yeah, back in 2004, a property that had a budding property in Cornish, or excuse me, in Limerick, the portion in Parsons Field was sold. And at the time, the people in this office didn't recognize that it was less than 10 acres. You can have an abutting property in an adjacent town and combine those for your tree growth total. But this is 5 acres in Parsons Field, so it should have come out of tree growth then. And it's just been going along with tree growth values since. So we have a supplemental tax bill that will get that out of tree growth and cover a portion of our missed taxes.
We're coming, I'm sorry.
I would like to write a letter, Danielle, to go with that. Okay, I'll do that. It may not be till next week, but I will.
So hold off on sending it.
Yeah.
Is there a limit on how many years you can go back? Like,
Well, this is the tree growth penalty and the warrant.
Oh, it's a penalty, okay,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. Otherwise, you can only go back 3 years.
3 years, that's
Yep.
what I thought.
Yep.
Our workman's compensation fund, the 2023 audit was completed by Maine Municipal. This is where we try and figure out how much money we contribute to the compensation fund each year. And Debbie does a pretty good job of that. In 23, we overpaid by $82. So, they generally send us a check for the overpayments, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it said somewhere that they'd send us a,
Yeah, there's a copy of the check.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Email's
well,
already deposited.
Yeah, it's gone.
You spent it?
It's gone. In the bank.
All right. Along with that, Debbie wanted us to talk about workers' comp coverage requirements for vendors.
for vendors.
Yes. When we hire a vendor, we have to get from them their workers' comp
Right,
coverage and
correct.
a 1099. Now, if they are a family business and only employee family members, they can get basically a letter from the workers' comp board that says they don't need to actually have the insurance. Which doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but they can get that. And oh, I forget where this went, Debbie.
Okay, if I
Letters.
don't get if the person does not have workers' comp,
Yeah.
then the audit, during the yearly audit for 1099, when people receive 1099s, MMA will take a certain portion of that yearly payment that person made and make it into a payroll amount, so we're paying workers' comp
For that
for
vendor,
that vendor.
which is wrong.
Right.
So, part of this says we have to get that before anybody does any work. And that's what I would say. We need a policy that says that. There may be emergency situations where that can be overridden. Like when we had the cleanup after the storms,
Yep.
things like that. But we still need the information, but it doesn't have to be done before the work is done, so. I would like to, let's see, I don't know, I probably can't make that a motion. But we need to come up with
A
a policy
policy
that
to-
says you have to provide your workers' comp information before you get paid, or before you do any work for the
Yeah.
town.
I'll need to get it to Meyer, because usually it's those type of vendors that emergency.
Yeah, and we'll have to come up with how that's figured out.
Yeah.
We need to say it's an emergency, does he need to say it is, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways, we need to
Yeah.
cover that. That's it,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
The York County Budget Committee needs, a couple of elected people from Parsonsfield. Well, actually, it's District 1. Now, we've tried to do it before, and it's been filled up, so to speak, so maybe we can, the four towns are Acton, Berwick, Cornish, Lebanon, and Leamington. All of us have two people. And it was like the first, I guess, two towns that said they'd like to do it, so if anyone would like to do that. Our last representative was Don Murphy, a few years ago now. And he felt it was very interesting how they developed the budget that they're going to charge the town. Now, right now, York County charges the town about $105,000 a year taxes. And this is how that budget is developed. So it's good if we can to have some input into that.
When they say it's vacant, and is it just, and that it's an elected position?
It means that you have to have two of your elected representatives, which in Parsonsfield is
Okay,
us.
it's an elected official that has to,
Right.
okay,
And there's one public
Yeah.
right.
spot which is filled.
Well, let me get through my budget workshop next week. Then I'll tell you if I want to do it.
All right. This involves about, I'd say, 3 or 4 meetings in Alfred.
A year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the workshop's in Augusta, so Alfred's a little better.
Uh, Jen's been our door person, out the door, in the door, whatever door, and has come up with one proposal, and she'd like to talk about that a little bit. For the
What was that show,
automated
something
door.
like The doorman?
Yeah.
What was that? Yeah, the doorwoman. So the town is in the process of getting estimates to install automatic door openers to meet some ADA compliance issues. And we have one estimate that came in last week. We have another one coming tomorrow, potentially a third. I haven't heard back from them. But it would allow anybody with a disability, anybody in a wheelchair, or just anybody that is, needs a little
You
assist,
can just say anybody.
anybody,
Thank
to use a push button that opens both doors to the entrance to the town hall. Yep, and there'll be buttons outside, in the middle in case you get stuck, and on the inside. So, yep, it'll involve some rewiring, and last week's guy that gave us the estimate said that he, once the wiring was done, that he and another technician could get it done in a day. Their estimate was for $11,300, and we'll ask for that to come out of ARPA funds.
Yeah.
So, and we'll see what tomorrow's brings.
Or possibly, weren't we looking at possible grants for that?
Yes, we were, but that grant was only for $3,000,
Okay.
and we opted to put it into some ergonomic equipment that would probably completely cover the equipment,
Okay,
so,
as opposed to the railings, which we can still do out of ARPA.
right.
Okay.
I don't know if you have anything on railings there, but,
I have nothing on railings.
okay, I'm gonna check with
Tim
Tim
Green,
Green,
right.
and hopefully he gets in touch about the cemetery fencing. He's gonna
Okay.
come in some Tuesday
He could
when I'm here.
budget that all together, maybe.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
if
we can't do
Yeah,
the cemetery under ARPA, that was
right.
No.
a no-no.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if he could do the railings, but he might know someone that would.
Oh, physically do that,
Right.
yeah,
Yes, yeah,
okay.
right. Maybe he would, I don't know, I've seen him work in stainless, I'm sure that's what they do.
I mean, the railers, just at the clinic today, the railing going up to the, the health, the clinic is very nice railing. I mean,
It
nice
is.
and round,
It is,
sturdy,
yeah.
that type of thing.
Yeah, I could even call them and ask who did that. Yeah. Jesse had some information too, from Hammond Lumber. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, Meyer was
Oh,
coming in today. He's not coming in, obviously, Deb, but he said hello.
Yes, he did.
And it looks like, from the numbers we received, at some point in time, if I get to the right page, we're gonna get about, on the storm of about a year ago, it looks like we're gonna get about $14,000 back. Now, when that comes is good a guess as anybody. But, we'll be getting some money back, which is always good for the town. We have, I think we might have mentioned this last week about Jen's community activities at the town hall, the free food drive.
yeah, we did. We went over those
So-
numbers, yeah.
All those things are well attended, and the numbers are also on the town website. Judy Ingram has been working,
We're done with
with Jen to discuss, we pay for the boat launch ramp for the workers at the boat launch ramp to make sure there's no milfoil or whatever in Long Pond. The town is supposed to have been increasing the amount by the cost of living increase over the last few years, and we have neglected to do that. So Jen's been working with the treasurer of Long Pond and is coming up with a number that will be in the annual warrant this year.
Right, right.
Is there anything else you want to?
No, they have they were, they had, the town was given a deeded right of way to the pond, and the Swan Pond Association was part of that deed, getting a cost of living increase every year to the Long Pond Association. So it's more than just the guy that does the milfoil checking. It's for the association itself. And I'm working with the treasurer on coming up with a figure that allows them to get the money that they haven't been getting since about maybe 2015 even.
Well, they did have one increase a couple years ago.
They've had a couple of increases,
Yeah.
yeah, but not, it hasn't kept up with the consumer price index.
All right,
Yeah.
so that's in the works. In addition, Jen and David have been working on the cannabis position, whatever. I don't know, Dave, someone want to just give a brief update?
Sure.
Anyone?
Anyone?
We've been working amongst ourselves and going back and forth with Ben
McCall?
McCall, our new town attorney, trying to develop an adult use cannabis
Ordinance,
policy,
yeah.
ordinance, I guess it is, thank you.
Mm.
This is something that we've had a couple of petitions for, but the petitions were rejected for various reasons, and we feel that it's prudent for us to put together an ordinance that's meaningful and will conform to our other requirements in our ordinance. It's something the town will vote on. There's a yay or nay vote initially, which is an opt-in, and if we don't opt in, then the rest of it is kind of null and void. But anyways, you'll be hearing more about that in the next couple of weeks.
I can add a little bit about the Recreation Committee that has been brought up by several residents have asked, if it's something that the town would consider doing. And just in looking through some of the records, I think it was back in 2003, there was a revitalization committee that included as some of its responsibilities what appeared to be like recreation committee. So it's been 20 years since then, and as I read through some of the information, it really looked like it was going to be in the box shop area, but that's since been taken over. So there is still town-owned property down there that could be used for recreation along with the town hall. So we're coming up with a policy as a select board to form a recreation committee with appointed members, with some bylaws, and it probably will be pretty much written up completely by next Tuesday. And we can vote on it and have anybody who's interested come in and fill out an application for a committee, as a committee member, and go through that process. We
Probably
will,
put an ad in the shopping guide too,
sure,
saying we're looking for,
add in the shopping guide or online, or, you know,
Yep,
on the
both.
website, yep. And we'll put a line item in the town annual report for a budget.
the town has, if I remember correctly, 5 or 6 acres along
Yeah.
the river there.
Uh-huh. Yep. And a trail that can be redone.
Right, by the, that runs along on the other side where the box shop is, obviously.
Yes.
But that maybe the town could do something with as far as recreational type activities, that would be nice.
Yeah. And, you know, hopefully there'll be grants out there to get enough money that that area could be, you know, cleared, and who knows? Picnic table, basketball court, softball field, t-ball, something like that. I mean, although we do have the space here too, so. Yep. Pickleball court.
Pickleball people.
Mhm. Just wish.
There's a, we're gonna be scheduling a workshop at some point in time when we get this cannabis legislation, or whatever you wanna call it, straightened out. John Lesko would like to talk to the board about a national effort called Our Common Purpose. What this is towns, municipalities trying to develop ways to increase participation in government. Someone made a point at our special town meeting, as we were, you know, going through the items and approving the items, basically. 15 people were making the decision for 1,200 voters. 15 people. And, you know, we have a direct democracy, not a representative democracy, so it's a lot of weight for those 15 people. And this program, I think, tries to develop ways to get more than the 15 people and more than the 55 people at the annual town meeting to participate in government, to be more inclusive. So that'll be probably scheduled a few weeks down the road. Anyone have any?
And one other item, and that's the Boston Post cane,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we need to find a new recipient for. And I can work with Danielle with the list for eligible people. I
Yeah.
think I still have the list that I put together a while ago, which is probably still valid.
Well, some of it is.
Yeah.
Delicate nature of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it for
Okay.
me.
That's it?
That's it. That's all, folks.
Okay, we have no guests here today. I don't know if that's good or bad,
Sorry.
but thank you very much for listening, we appreciate it. Sorry for our technical difficulties, but hopefully we got them resolved. Danielle all of a sudden pushed a magic button and something happened. Thank you very much, folks. Now, this little microphone still